this is Jeannie Carey from Trendy Tree, and we're going to work on a Halloween wreath. We have, this spooky side that we're going to use, and we have this matte silver mesh. This is 10-inch mesh, and we have these spooky mummy hands. I thought we might use them, like position them around the sun. Not sure yet. We'll just have to wait till we get to that point. And we're going to use a silver pencil wreath. And we have 4 ribbons picked out. We're going to use a little different Halloween color scheme. It's grays and blacks and reds. And this is a red harlequin ribbon that's 2.5 inches that we're going to use. And Carrie's working on a skull ribbon. And we have 2 1.5-inch ribbons. One is a red and black stripe, and the other is gray, white, black polka dots. So Carrie is cutting the ribbon strips. We're going to go ahead and get everything cut before we start, so it won't take so long for you to see the finished product. But she's using a template that Hot Mesh Mom created to do 13-inch ribbon strips. You can do 13 or 14, and you can do 10 or 11. It's just a little MDF board, and you just wrap your ribbon around it and then cut it. I'll give you the link for that in the video. So she's cutting that, and throw me a pair of scissors and I'll show how to. We're going to chevron the ends or dovetail the ends of the red ribbon, and you can just fold that, fold it lengthwise one more time, and then cut away from you on that folded edge, and that will give you a dovetail cut on your ribbons. We're going to do that to the 2.5-inch, but on the 1.5-inch, we just cut those at an angle. We're going to we're going to do the ruffle technique, and it doesn't take the whole 2 rolls of mesh, but it takes more than 1. So we're going to cut our mesh into 30-inch strips. And, sorry. I was just going to show you how we cut it. But you hand me the cutter.
Well, you know,
sorry.
The trouble is,
I put the supplies under the table to give us more room, and this is just kind of an impromptu. What you had?
the cutter rolled away.
Oh, sorry. So this is a 60mm rotary cutter, and it's perfect for cutting mesh, and I'll give you that link also. But we're going to cut 30-inch strips. Let me just cut a couple of strips, and then I'll get out of your way.
Oh, you're fine.
I just want to show them how this cutter cuts. But this is a self-healing cutting mat, and if you do a lot of wreath making with mesh, you just really need one. Now, here's where you'll see this sometimes. This piece of mesh has been spliced together, but it's just not going to hurt anything because sometimes that happens when you get down to the end of a roll, or the manufacturer when they're making it, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt us at all on this. And even if you were doing the poof technique, you could just incorporate those 2 layers together and keep on working. So let me just lay that back out again. I'm cutting 2 pieces at the same time just to save a little bit of time. Just let that mesh roll off on the floor. Measure my 30 inches and just cut through both layers at the same time. Now I'll finish cutting that, but used to when we did a ruffle wreath, we would cut 3 pieces of mesh 10 inches in length and put 3 ruffles in each twist. And then we saw Lori Jacobs, hardworking mom. She was using the same color mesh, and she cut a 30-inch piece and made a ruffle, and it works just as well. It's actually a little faster, it saves you a little time, and there's less raveling. The less cuts you make in your mesh, the less raveling you'll have. So if you're using the same color mesh, just cut 1 piece for your ruffle. If you're using 2, cut 2 15-inch pieces and put in, two ruffles. Or if you're using 3, and we have done that, we go back to a 10-inch piece from each part. But we'll finish cutting our ribbon and our mesh, and then we'll come back and put it together for you. Okay. Okay, all right, so we're gonna make a ruffle, and Carrie's gonna take a piece of the mesh and just let it kind of curl up naturally, and then flip it over and spread it out and just scrunch up through the center of it and make a 30-inch ruffle. And this is a pencil wreath. Our 24-inch pencil wreaths measure 15 inches across the widest frame. And with the addition of mesh, ribbons, and other things, you wind up with a wreath that measures 24 inches or greater. So that's what your ruffle looks like. So I'm going to start on the outside and just attach the ruffle. And I'm just going to put the twist, I'm just going to turn the twist just a couple of turns, because we're going to come back and add in some ribbon. So it doesn't have to be, usually if it's the last thing I'm putting in a twist, I'll turn it, 4 or 5 times. But since we're going to add that ribbon, this mesh has a lot of texture to it. It's wide foil. The foil strips are wider, and so it's really got a lot of texture. But I'm just started on the outside and just going to work all the way around the outer ring. Now all mesh ravels, you'll have some strings that you'll have to cut at the end. Just all ravels. But that's sort of what it looks like. And we're going to finish working all the way around the outer ring, and then we'll do the inner ring. Okay, now there's our wreath after we've gone all the way around with a 30-inch ruffle in each twist. Ruffle. Just turn your wreath over from the back and kind of push the ruffles out toward the front. Kind of open up that center. And now we're going to add some ribbon strips. So Carrie, just pick them up kind of random, however you want to do them. But we're going to attach a ribbon cluster into each twist. So we have 4 ribbons, so she's going to pick up a 2.5, and then a 1.5, a 2.5, and a 1.5, or 2 2.5s and 2 1.5s, however you want to do it. Just mix them up. So while she's doing that, I'm going to undo a twist, and I'm going to put the ribbon cluster right down on top of the ruffle. Just find your center and pinch it together, and then lay it down on top of your ruffle. And this time, I'm going to close the twist with 3 or 4 or 5 turns just to make it real secure, and then just kind of spread your ribbons out.
I figured you could pinch them up and it would be,
Yeah, it's fine.
you could hold them better.
But just spread them out where you can see all your ribbons good. I keep picking up the hand. And that's sort of what it's going to look like. And we're going to go around and we're going to put a ribbon cluster in each twist. Okay, so there's the wreath after we've added a cluster of ribbon strips in each twist. Now next, we're going to add the sign, and it's an MDF sign, so what I'm going to do is staple 2 chenille stems to the back, and we're going to use that to attach. Do that, and then we'll see about maybe using the hands. I like these hands. But you could just take a full-length chenille stem, that's fine, doesn't matter what color, and just, we don't have our heavy-duty stapler here, I've got just a desk stapler, but...
You want it over there?
Yeah, that's fine. Just staple it in a couple of places, so it'll hold your chenille stem.
No.
Okay, one more. Sometimes they go in straight and sometimes they don't. Okay, just staple them like that. And then we're gonna, it's really easier if you hang your wreath up to see, where you want to position your sign. You might want it, right in the middle.
You gonna hang it here?
Yeah, just lay that one on, put that one in yonder, and I'll lay it right there. You kind of play with where you want to put your sign before you secure it, because once you secure it, it's aggravating to move. So decide if you want it like in the middle or off to the side or whatever. But you want to lay the sign on the mesh and, kind of, work your fingers in from the back and pull those chenille stems through. You don't want to press your sign so far in that it squishes down your mesh. Okay, so I kind of put the sign on kind of at an angle. Right now I just got the hands laid up in there, but I'm going to take some floral wire. Now to attach my sign like that, I had to lengthen the chenille stem, so you can always do that. If you can't get your sign positioned where you want because it won't reach the other side, you can always use extra chenille stems. So go take some floral wire and just wire in the hands there. And then I think what we'll do is make a big bow and let it kind of hang off the side. Okay, so I've attached the hands with some wire, and now I'm going to make a bow. I think I'll make a large bow, kind of hang off the side, and I want it to have some really long tails. So I'm going to start out with I'm going to use a Bodabra. Now the Bodabra is this plastic piece. We don't sell this on Trendy Tree, but I can give you a link for that. Now, my husband just mounted it to this board for me just to make it easier to work with, and I put some markings on it. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to just cut some extra tails to start with, and I'm going to make them, I wanted to make them 20 inches, so I have to double that. So, there you go, messed that one up. So I want about a 20-inch tail. So, and I'll cut my ends, I'll trim my ends when I'm done. But just gonna find my center, and I'm gonna drop it right down in the Bodabra, face up, and I'll just pull those tails to the front. And I'm gonna use all the different kind of ribbon, and I don't know exactly how much ribbon I have left over, but we'll just use up till we use it up, I guess.
Yeah. No need in having any extra.
No. I like this ribbon. This is really stiff ribbon. And I'll use the polka dot, and then when I get through with these extra tails, we'll start making some loops. The Bodabra, it's not anything special about it. It just holds your ribbon. You can do the same thing by holding it in your hand, but now for me it gets to be a little much to hold in my hand. Go ahead and roll that off and see just roughly about how much we've got. So I'm going to start with the skull ribbon. I'm just going to drop it
a yard.
a little bit longer, up to your shoulder. Yeah, that's about a yard. That's close enough. About like that. Yeah. So you got maybe,
about 3 yards.
Maybe 3 yards. Okay, so to start the bow, I'm going to have a tail of about 3 inches, and I'm going to slide it down in the Bodabra. Okay? And then I'm going to twist the ribbon, get the right side up, and I'm going to make about a 6-inch loop, because I want about a 12-inch bow. So I'm going to come out to my 6-inch mark and slide that right down in there, and then I'm going to twist and make a 6-inch loop on the other side. Bring that back to the Bodabra. I think I've got enough to make 4 loops. So I'm going to make 4 loops the same size. Every time I'm twisting to bring the right side of the ribbon up. Okay. I've got enough to make 1 more loop. So it doesn't have to be even. So I'm going to have 3 loops on one side and 4 on the other. That's okay. Okay. And I have this little wand, and you can just slide that down in there to make that stack smaller. And I've got this short end. I'm going to leave that for right now. I can trim that off later or cut it off if I want to. Now next I'm going to use this red and black stripe, and I'm just going to start a short end about 3 inches, and I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to make about a 6-inch loop, same size. We should have about the same amount of ribbon left on all of them.
Should.
Twist that ribbon. Make a 6-inch loop on the other side. I'm going to need a zip tie.
Okay.
This is really going to be a bulky bow because every one of these ribbons is really nice texture. It's a canvas-like material. It's really
Good ribbon.
good ribbon. So on that one, I've got 4 loops the same size, and I've got this little tail coming down. That's fine. And I used up all that ribbon. And then next I'm gonna use, I guess I'll use that one. I'll probably want to finish with that one on top. So we're gonna start 3 inches, twist it. This time I'm gonna make the loop a little bit smaller. It'll be closer to like 5.5 inches, maybe. Twist, get the right side up. Make that loop about 5.5 inches. Just gonna make these last loops a little bit smaller. And you can make this same bow using an easy bow maker. We have those on the website. And we also use the Pro Bow too. So I've got 3 loops on each side. I'm gonna come on, I'm gonna make 1 more loop. And then I'm going to let the rest of that hang down in a tail. Okay. So I've used up all that ribbon. Okay, we're going to finish with the gray polka dot. So 3 inches, twist. This loop will also be about the 5.5 inch. It's really bulky. It's going to be a bulky bow.
Bulky.
Those don't look the same. But each time twisting and getting that right side up. That's 4. There's 3 loops on each side. Alright, so on that last ribbon we're doing 3 loops on each side, and I still need 1 more loop to go in the center that I'll kind of use to cover up my mechanics. So I'm going to twist and I'm going to make a small loop about a couple of inches, and that will be my center loop. So I still got this much left. I'm going to cut off but a couple of inches, and I'm going to pack that down, press that down as much as I can, and now I'm going to very gently lift up my ribbon off of the bow maker, keep it stacked up. I need to fasten it from behind. Put the zip tie right across the front. There you go.
That's backwards.
Okay, and now then going to go to the back and get it started. Just don't secure it all the way. Okay, bring it on around. There we go. That's good. I just want to keep that stacked. So I got the ribbon is all stacked up. You want to keep it that way. Now then, we're going to slide a chenille stem under there.
Maybe.
Okay, and then I'm ready to tighten up the zip tie, tight as you can. Keep your ribbon stacked. And then you'll have that chenille stem
To attach it.
So I'm going to snip off the zip tie and hope the zip tie doesn't break.
Shouldn't.
Okay. And now we're just ready to fluff out our ribbon. You can see I've got really long tails, which is what I wanted. And that last little loop where we ended, I'm going to pull it over, and it's going to be my center loop. Now, I've still got a little bit of a tail on that side that I don't want to show, so I'm going to trim that off a little shorter. I don't want to cut it off so short that it might pull out of the loop, but then I'm just going to pull that little short loop over and cover up the mechanics, and then just kind of fluff out the ribbon. And I'm going to start from the bottom and just pull like a loop to the top, a loop down. Do that same thing on each side. And just fluff out each layer. This is all wired ribbon, okay? And then you can, now I'm going to take my tails and I'm going, on my 2.5 inch ribbon, I'm going to fold those edges together and cut away and make like a dovetail cut. But now on my 1.5 inch ribbon, I usually just like to cut those at an angle. But any of the 2.5 will cut those. And they don't all have to be the same length. You can, if you want them the same length, you can trim them that way. Okay, so now we've got our chenille stem to attach it. And now we're going to attach it off of this right side and let those streamers hang down. Okay, there's a wreath after we finish it. You like it? You like the hands? I like the hands. Okay, it measures about, oh, let's see, 25, 26 inches. And you can just make a hanger for the back using a chenille stem or zip tie, okay? All the supplies came from Trendy Tree, and I'll give you all the SKU numbers for those. And if you'll check our blog post, it'll have links that will take you right to the products. We may put these products in a kit.
Sure.
And, but we'll leave the instructions up even after the kits sell out, because you can follow these same instructions and just make, you know, pick out the mesh, signs, and so forth, okay? Thanks for dropping in. We appreciate it.